Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to put in, this is a Corsair H60. It's a high-performance liquid CPU cooler I picked up at Best Buy for 60 bucks. Again, I love Corsair. I think that they're high quality and you can't beat the price point. And we're going to pop this on. I have my Asus board here. Make sure you keep yourself and everything grounded as you do this work too, so you don't static shock something and break it. This one, probably the easiest one I've ever installed before. We're going to put this baby in. If you have a newer case and you have a back slot where you can get to the back of your CPU, you can do this with your motherboard installed, which is nice. Cases back in my day didn't have that. You had to take your whole case apart and get it all out and unplug everything to work on it. I'm going to do this one though before the motherboard's been installed because it's easier to show on video. Most of these are going to say what it's for. This one's for Intel and AMD. So let's pop it open. I believe this opens from the side. There we go. There's the little radiator. It's going to be attached to the cooler. Now this is going to have a little cover on it right here. This is your, whoops, stuff you would put on top. This is where the CPU goes. So you don't want to touch this. So leave this plastic cover on until you're ready to adhere this to the CPU. All right, there's the fan that's going to go onto that radiator. All right, here's what we're looking for. Here is the metal brackets. And so these are for the different CPUs that you could use. Here's all the bolts. And so that one is an Intel. I can tell by the way it looks, four-sided. This is going to be our AMD because it's only got the two. The instruction booklet tells you exactly which one you need. This one is the AMD one, I know for sure. Okay, for the actual instructions, it says the first thing to do is to install your fan into your case. So we will follow the instructions and do that first. This particular one, and with my particular case, I could put this in a lot of locations and it's going to reach because of how long the cables are. A lot of these coolers like to be on top because obviously heat rises. And so that is going to be where we probably are going to install ours here. And if you can, they always recommend attaching it as an air intake. The other really nice thing about this case is I could actually put it in the front fairly easy, even with the radiator, because of how long everything is. So I have several options for where I can mount this. I don't know. Right here is probably just the most logical. The screws to mount these fans are these long ones, and there should be 4 of them, and then you want the 4 washers that come with the kit. And then we're going to actually take this and lift it up. And we're going to take our little cover off right here. And this is where we can mount the fan. This is the Corsair 4000 Airflow. Love this case. It's got slots for different fans. You can actually put 3 in, or just a really big fan if you wanted. We're going to actually put our fan in, and I'm going to tell you why we're not going to put it down here in the bottom slot, because my particular motherboard has heat sinks up here. And so these are pretty high, and they would definitely hit if I put a fan right here. And so you'll see that, and you'll obviously know where you need to put your fans. But I'm going to put my fan pushing air out, and I'm going to have the cable down towards the bottom to make cable management easier. I could put it really anywhere, either here, up here in the front, over in the corner. I don't really think I'm going to add any more fans because this case already came with one in the front, one in the back, plus this one. I think I'm going to have plenty of airflow in this, especially being a water cooler. And so I think that's where I want my cooler. And so you can see I got the holes here. These long black screws are the ones you want to use that came with the case, or came with the cooler. They look like that. You want to put the washers on them, just like I've done right there. And the washers go on the outside here, and you can go ahead and feed that through if you can. We're going to actually tip it over to actually install it though, because you have to hold the radiator up there and it's a little awkward to do by yourself. Not that it's impossible by any means, it's not that hard, but, and then got that in there, and this slides, which is nice. I love this case. I'm a super fan of this case. All right, now we're going to tilt this up nice and slow and set it down. I'm going to hold these screws here without pushing them through. This, like I said, this is a tricky part, because now we got to bring the radiator over here. And you don't want to make it too tight. Once you do get it, just get it snug a little bit. Move over to the next one. You want to snug it down. Not too tight. You might have to press a little bit more. All right. That is fully installed now. Make sure it's secured. You don't have anything you missed. So do be careful. Make sure you're adding a pretty big item, radiator. into this PC, and you don't want to have an issue before you get too far ahead and you got to go back and start all over. So we got that in there. Everything looks like it's going to fit perfectly. And since we're doing an AMD install, we don't have to actually do anything with the back of this motherboard, which is nice. That was more for you Intel people, which is fine because I used to be an Intel person. So all we have to do now is actually adhere the heatsink to the motherboard. Now here is our water cooler, and you want to make sure it's lined up to properly fit. And this is when you can finally take off your plastic when you're ready to adhere it. You do want to grab your proper mount piece for the AMDs here, which is this one right here. And then you're going to also grab 2 of the threaded screws, which are these. And you also need the key looking things. You also need these. You're going to actually run this key through here, like that. And then you're going to grab one of your little locks and actually screw it just a little bit down on there. And you're going to do the same with the other side. And then it'll look like that. Just lightly screw them on. Now we're going to go ahead and put on the cooler. We're going to slide this little plastic piece off. So this is going to be like this. And then this is going to actually go right on top of it. You can go ahead and set that on top. So then you just tighten these down. Again, not too tight. Hand tight again. I probably wouldn't even use a screwdriver. You can if you need to. But I would not put these super tight. Your heatsink and CPU and motherboard are all installed, and you are almost ready to roll on. Again, that is for the Corsair H60 heatsink. And this is mixed with a Asus B550A gaming motherboard. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and have yourself a great day.